Alright, so saw Jason Bourne today, and that's what it is. That's just another sequel to the franchise. Um, it's funny because it's kind of like they kind of like pass the baton off to Renner's character, and it's fun, and it was fine at first when I was thinking that they're gonna have another Jason Bourne one. This might happen during, Renner's thing or right after, and then maybe it's like, I don't know, like every other movie, it's one or the other or something. But I think also they passed the baton over to Renner with the Mission Impossible movies too, in case Tom Cruise can't do any more ridiculous stunts and running away from his thoughts and all that shit. But anyway, so this one, like, in all honesty, I don't say this very often, but you can really just skip this movie. You can seriously just skip this movie. Most of the time I would say, even if it's bad, I'm like, watch it, blah, 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 or if it's good, obviously go watch it. But this is like, you could, like, man. And mind you, I wasn't expecting anything, like, really good from this one, because like that ship has sailed. Like, I really thought that they do the 3 Bourne movies, they're just gonna have like a little, like, I guess you would say, spin-off thing by doing like the Renner one, or maybe just like one Renner one. I wasn't expecting like him having his own, like, trilogy as well, and then to just end it. And then this one just called Jason Bourne. Like, oh, okay. I got Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Legacy, and now Jason Bourne. So I don't know, maybe this is the end of it. The story is, it's the same thing. It's like the second and third one, where like, oh, he's with, of course he's somewhere, he's trying to survive, and then whichever like female he's ever with, and like meets back up with him, and then they die. Like that. Like, I knew Julia Stiles' character was gonna die because there's no way they were gonna keep her alive. Like, it's this thing I noticed with the in the series of movies. It's like, because like, what's her name, who played Pamela Landy, was there. They're like, oh, we already have one woman like already on the cast. Well, let's kill what's her name, the German chick, And then he's like, it fills me to like, why do I always do this jerking gesture? Anyway, it fuels me to go and like, fight the machines and shit like that. And then here, like, she dies because she's trying to kind of pull a Snowden thing, and they also even mention that. They're like, this is gonna be the worst leak since Snowden, and blah 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 blah. And then this one isn't just about like recreating these super soldiers and all that fucking shit. It's like, okay, super soldier stuff aside, so we're kind of done. We're done with super soldiers. We're done with super soldiers. We're on to like fucking NSA shit. We're on to, there's like this Middle Eastern freaking like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates kind of guy, and he's created like this new thing, and people are all like fangirling over him. But he's working with like Tommy Lee Jones, who, oh my god, to no surprise, is like the fucking, what's his name, Brian Cox. Anyway, yeah, like the freaking, Two-Face motherfucker, which is funny because Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face. Two-Face? Anyway. But yeah, like, working with him, and then he's got his bit, like, the Steve Jobs kind of guy has his big company, and then Tommy Lee Jones wants to use it for, bad things, and keeping all this, and the whole, like, pretty much the whole NSA spying thing, so we're pulling it even more in there, because that's what the Bourne movies are about now, not just about like making super soldiers and, trained assassins and shit like that. Then they have the fucking French guy from like the Ocean's 11 movie, which is funny because he also worked with Matt Damon in that one. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, like, you knew like Julia Stiles was gonna die, she dies. And then, because what's her name, Alicia, the girl from like all those movies from last year, yeah, so you got her in it, which, she did really well. Like, I enjoyed her character, and like, okay, maybe see it for, like, her performance, because she did really well. Like, again, that Tommy Lee Jones could be, like, like, all crooked and shit. That Matt Damon's could be fucking Matt Damon in this goddamn movie, Like, just, yeah, anyway, so, like, she does well, and she's kind of like the Pamela Landy character, but younger, and knows about the internet and like malware and fucking shit like that. She's like the IT of it, and she's like, oh, I know how to I figure things, blah blah blah, and like, unlike Pamela Landy, she was like Pamela Landy was more on like Jason Bourne's side, you know, towards the end, and yada who the fuck and all that stuff. But like with her, she was like, okay, I'll be on his side, but more for like the benefit of herself, because in the end, she was just kind of like, all right, I'll bring him in, and well, if I have to kill him, I have to kill him. And then, like, to, again, no surprise, because Jason Bourne is supposed to be this really smart, like, 20 steps ahead of you kind of guy, he, like, recorded it, and, God, the audience was like, yeah, he got her! And I'm kind of like, what, how, did you not see the other films where he did that, too? Where he did stuff like that, where he recorded some asshole saying something, you know, when you didn't even think he was going to record someone, but then in the end he had, like, the recording. No, just me. Alright, just me. But yeah, like, oh, man. This is a problem I had with the third movie, and I definitely have even a bigger problem with this one, which is, like, the camera work. And it's something that, like, I touched on briefly in, like, the last, like, Die Hard movie, because it was just my friends and I just kind of, like, chuckling at how bad it was. But I call it like the Google Maps way of filming, which is like, I'm just gonna grab my camera here, which is like, you'll be there and all of a sudden like you're like this close, like they'll literally like, not like a slow zoom into someone, look at my lovely face and acne and all that stuff, and zoom out. They'll literally just go really close, and then they'll be like, oh, you want to see my back? They'll literally like hit, like, you know, it's like as if, you know, someone doesn't know how to work, like, the camera and all that shit, and when they're hitting the zoom, they're hitting it, like, too hard, so it, like, judged, like, you know, too forward, or, like, it's just, like, this crazy, like, oh my god, it gets kind of jarring, and then I had to watch majority of the movie with my glasses off, which is like, bro, how did you see the movie? Like, my eyesight isn't that bad. Plus, it's on a big fuck-off screen, like, for God's sakes, it's on a goddamn eye exam, like, I can kind of fucking see it. But that kind of stuff, and then along with, like, grab my camera again, along with, like, the fight scenes where you're just like, like, a lot of that happening, we're fighting, oh my god, zoom out. Like, it got so fucking ridiculous with that shit, like, it just wouldn't stop, it just was like, and then, when it's a shot where it's like, you know, like, I'm talking, and then let's say the back of someone's head's here, and it's supposed to be, like, back and forth talking. You're doing this, and then it's very handheld. And I know I'm not one to talk, because, again, I'm walking around, like, the streets of Manhattan, you know, when I vlog a lot of my film thingies, but it's also, like, it's obvious that I'm vlogging. This is a fucking film, and it's like, let's say I'm just standing still, like, having a dialogue scene, and the camera is just ever so slightly, like this. And it's very minor, you know, like, if you look at it this way, but when it's on, like, a big fuck-off screen, it feels like it's like this, and you're like, oh my god, just keep the fucking camera steady, you know? I want to, like, you know? It was a lot of that. It was like, there's one part where, actually, it was so much of that I literally just did this, and, like, and I was just like this, just, like, listening to the film, so I'm like, okay, and then of course, because my eyes were closed, like an explosion happened, I literally was like, okay, let me just, yeah, and I just watched the rest of the movie without fucking glasses on. There was one part where I was like, alright, let me put my glasses back on, because it was just like, okay, we're good, but then, like, that third act fucking car chase that you see in the damn trailer where they're in, like, Vegas, and it's like that SWAT, like truck that goes through all the fucking Michael Bay explosion kind of shit happening. And that part I was like, alright, I was like, nope, here we go again, you know? And, you know, I know in, like, the Bourne Legacy one, I talked about how I liked how ridiculous it was, where, like, there's that guy in the motorcycle who fucking, like, hit a pillar, but he still got up because he's, like, fucking Terminator and shit. But, like, I feel like that one was, like, on its own with Bourne Legacy, where things were so, like, extra, you know? So it worked out that way, where, like, fucking Oscar Isaac was, like, going from, like, a fucking top, like, on a tree, jumps out in the snow, like, he's totally fine, because they're all, like, this crazy super soldier serum shit. But, like, in more of, like, the Matt Damon Jason Bourne thing, it seemed a little bit more realistic, you know? So there's a part where, like, in the third act, where it is the fucking, like, SWAT truck, and then he kind of, like, jumps off and his like stolen car thing is on top of the SWAT van with the French dude in it, and he drives a blah blah, and then there's like a marquee and he hits against it, and you see how crunched up the car is. You're like, how the fuck is he still alive? And also the several times where that car, like that Dodge Charger, I think what it is, because they make sure you knew what kind of car it was, would hit things, and I'm like, why hasn't the airbags deployed at least like once? You know what I mean? Because those were hard enough impacts where like an airbag would deploy. And then again, when he like went into the fucking marquee, and you're like, how the fuck is he still alive? And then yeah, he's still alive, but then he also can just easily just like open. I'm so used to be on the passenger side of a car. I'm like, you know, where he's so easily that he can like just, you know, open the fucking door, just click open, not even hearing the door go, you know, like that. He just gets out and he's like, all right, I'm just kind of bleeding a little. Let me go find this guy. And it's just like, oh my god. Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like, the people in the theater were, like, cheering, like, towards the end when he was, like, you know, when he finally killed that guy, and I'm kind of like, did you guys not see the other movies? And it's kind of, and you can say, like, well, that's the same thing with all the superhero movies you go see. It's kind of predictable. You know that the hero's gonna, like, prevail in the end. It's like, I know, but, like, but this movie is literally, like, if you took stuff from the second and third movie and kind of like just replace people, like you got the same film. Like that's mainly what I'm saying. But yeah, fucking Tommy Lee Jones, like just being this old crotchety man and wanting to put a hit out on the dude and all that stuff. And obviously the budget on this one's bigger since you're able to go to like Berlin and England and was it Athens and then Vegas, and obviously in your Virginia for like Langley CIA shit and all this fucking stuff. Yeah. Oh, and Iceland because they were in Reykjavik. Yeah, like just all over the world. And then also like, man, the travel time for this movie too, because they'll literally be like, well, I'll see you in Vegas, and then it's like I know that obviously by the time whomever arrived in Vegas, they've all traveled. But it's like, damn, they've got those private jets on lock. And I know it's the government, so of course they could just access it immediately. But, damn, you know? I find it funny that, like, you know, Matt Damon arrives at Vegas before the girl, even though she has, like, government security and she can technically have gone there. Anyway, I'm just being a little too, like, over-analytical over this fucking Bourne movie. Like, you know, I went to go see it with my mom because she wanted to go see it, and you know, yeah, I was just kind of curious how it was. Like, honestly, it doesn't suck, but it's definitely something you can skip. You know, and my mom enjoyed it, but I know what, in general, she enjoys Matt Damon. So, yeah. Alright, so let me move on, oh god, to the trailers. Dear god. Let's see. So yeah, there was, stuff that, you know, I've spoke about before. Doctor Strange, the Dante's Inferno thing. So there's this movie called Loving. What the fuck is it about? Let's see. I don't know why that made me think. Loving. What the fuck? Oh, yes, Loving. It's the one with, it's Joel Edgerton and what's her name from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and currently Preacher. It's about an interracial couple back in the Hoo-Ha days where you're not allowed to have that. And it's about, like, their trials and tribulations of being an interracial couple and with mixed children and all that stuff. And it's like, and I'm watching it just being like, kind of like that. Only because it's like, not to get kind of political, but it's like we kind of have to, like, be Captain Obvious with it now for people to understand, like, remember when where this wasn't okay and you're trying to bring it back to this? Like, it just kind of made me just kind of, a little, just because it's like, we know, and even now, some people are, like, not okay with it, but that aside. There's the sequel, I guess, to The Mechanic. I guess this time Ben Foster's in. I don't even remember if I even saw the original one, but anyway, Statham. Morgan, which is like this weird, it's a Ridley Scott produced thingy, and it's got Kate Mara in it, and it's just weird. It's like this genetically altered, like, little girl, and it's that whole thing where like, oh, in a week she was 1 year old, in like a month she's 14, you know, like that kind of shit. And then she's like adapting because she's supposed to be like super evolved, and and of course like any kind of science experiment kind of movie, shit goes awry. And the movie is the shit going awry and the girl escaping, you know, confinement as they tend to do, and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, it looks interesting, you know, but I'm not, I don't think I'm gonna like run to the theater for that one. Then there was the accountant, which is like Ben Affleck's Jason Bourne movie, where he's supposed to be like this super smart guy, but obviously super socially awkward. But you know, because the smarter you are, the more socially inept you are, because I fucking know that way too well. Because I'm so smart. Anyway, so he's supposed to be like this. He's just like this regular kind of boring accountant guy, and he meets like Anna Kendrick, or more like she meets him. But he also like helps these like big, well-known, I don't know, mob and the bad guys with their money and blah blah blah. And then she finds that he has like a drawer full of money, and that's like, I get it with action films, like that's how your people but who the fuck has like a drawer full of money? Like, God, if I literally had a drawer full of money, I wouldn't have a drawer full of money, you know? Like, just fucking like put that shit away. It's called a bank, or like a safety deposit box, or like, I'd rather it be found on, like, in between the mattress, you know, kind of shit. But just literally, she, like, it's like a counter and, like, a drawer, and she opens it, and there's just, like, stacks of hundreds, and she's just like, oh my God, who are you? It's like, well, he's Batman. So there's that. Anyway, then it was Shyamalan, however you pronounce it. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. His newest movie, which is James McAvoy playing like 23 different people. So he's trying to put like Tatiana Maslany, Orphan Black, you know, like just showing 23 different people and all that shit. And like you see the characters like kidnap these 3 girls, and you know, the story is that. I do like that it's like from the writer director of, and it's like Sixth Sense, Signs, Unbreakable, The Visit, and I'm like, good for naming the good movies, because it's not like they're gonna say Lady in the Water and fucking like, you know, like Last Airbender. Or like The Village. Like, a good thing they decided to name the good ones, you know. Anyway, it looks interesting, and it definitely has that fucking, you know, like I don't know what the twist in the end is, you know, because like the twist for The Visit wasn't so bad. Like, it was kind of obvious, but like, you know, even I was like, oh, you know, I wasn't so surprised. I was just like, oh, you know. But yeah. So, like, it look like I'm interested in it. It's supposed to be coming out in January, so a little worried because, you know, anytime like a horror film comes out in January is like, you know. But I think Glee said she really wants to go see it, so fuck it. And then the last one, it has Matt Damon in it. It's supposed to come out sometime next year, which is called The Great Wall. You know, when like Asian directors and all that stuff and movies from China get made and they want like a white face to promote it, they put a white face in the movie, and apparently they're fighting like a dragon or Godzilla or something. I don't know. It looks interesting. It's got all these like, you know, like well-known Asian actors in it and all that shit, but like I said, they have to put like a white face there, you know, so you would want to go see it. I don't know how to feel about that movie, because like the concept looks interesting. It's just like, you have to put his fucking like lily white ass on the fucking movie. But anyway, yeah, so Jason Bourne, yeah, it was alright. But yeah, so I don't think Glee and I would be able to go see Suicide Squad this coming week. I think it'll be the next week, because of, like, as always, fucking our schedules rarely ever meet up. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking, and sandwiches.